So we have Onyekachi Nwakobi, a pharmacist, founder and executive director of MedGlobe. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you.
Good to have you too.
Yes, so talking about the importance of drug adherence, let's first establish what exactly drug adherence means.
Okay, so drug adherence is the extent to which a patient takes his or her medications as prescribed by the medical professional. So I'm creating emphasis on as prescribed.
Okay.
Because there is one thing to actually take your medication, and then there is another thing to take your medication as prescribed by the medical professional.
Okay. I, for one, I do not, I adhere to medications.
Do you?
I do. But the thing is, sometimes when you're sick, you go to the hospital, they give you drugs to use. And at certain points, the drugs begin to act up on your body. And sometimes you use some drugs and then you are weak, you're tired, you can't really do anything. And probably a day you skip using that drug and then you feel you're okay, there's nothing wrong with you, you're not drowsy and all. And you feel, okay, I feel I'm okay, I shouldn't continue using the drugs. Is there any side effects to that?
Of course. So now there is a reason why maybe I tell you, take this drug for 5 days. There's a reason why I'm telling you to take it for 5 days and not 3 days or 2 days. So even if maybe after taking it for 2 days you feel better, you still need to take your medication till the very last day. To prevent a lot of things like side effects, to prevent, because you might not get that maximum therapeutic outcome from the drug, and also to prevent resistance from medications like antibiotics or anti-malarials and other things too. So when you don't take it the right way, you tend to get resistance to it and reoccurrence can occur.
Wow. Okay. A long-term resistance or resistance at that particular instance of medication?
It depends on the microbes. It also depends on that kind of the infection. So we have long-term reoccurrence resistance and we have immediate resistance too. So it all depends on which one are you dealing with.
Okay, so in a situation where you're taking your drugs, following your prescriptions, and this particular drug you're taking starts, like she said, you start having a reaction to it, a severe reaction to it. What do you do? Do you still follow that prescription or what happens then?
That's the reason why we have health professionals there. So maybe you're taking this because everybody is different and everybody reacts to drugs differently too. So maybe this person takes this medication and he feels better. But another person can take that same medication, that same time and everything, and might have some adverse effects. So when you begin to notice these reactions, these changes in your body, you have to go back to either your doctor, speak to them, or go to the pharmacy. That's why there are pharmacies everywhere now. So you can go there, speak to them about it, and then if you need to change the drug, fine. Maybe you even did something that you're not supposed to do. That's what caused that reaction or something like that. So it's good for you to, stop that medication, go immediately to maybe a medical professional, speak to them about it. They're going to assess the therapy that was given to you and then change it or advise you on how you should go about it.
Okay. Most drugs have side effects. I'm going back to when you're giving prescriptions and then you feel better and then you stop using them. I always feel that when we are giving drugs, sometimes they overgive you some certain drugs. Sometimes you use, the recent one, it was a particular time I wasn't feeling so well and I went to the hospital and then they gave me a particular drug. And I think it was drug for headache. And then it was more than, I felt it was too much. I already finished using the other ones and then it was just that one left. And I was like, why should I still use it? I feel if I'm going to use this, I should use it with the other ones. Since the other ones I'm done with them, I should stop using this also. So is that also a form of underusing drugs or drug non-adherence?
Okay, it depends on, I don't know what was really wrong with you, but for the fact that they gave you that many, that means you need it. So, because they know what they are doing. Nobody will just dash you drug like that. I'm sorry. We need those drugs for other people. So the fact that we gave you for that amount of time, that means you need it. Even if when you are taking your malaria medication, they also give you an analgesic. That's your normal paracetamol to take. So they can give you the normal duration for your malaria medication is maximum 3 days, right? But your analgesics, that's the painkillers, they can give you for like 5 days. Now you have finished your malaria, but you might still feel weak somehow, and you might still have a headache or fever or something. So that's the reason why they're still giving you, so that it takes care of all those other symptoms, even if you are done with your malaria medications.
Okay.
So there is a reason why they're giving you at that period of time. Nobody wants your liver to be damaged.
Yeah.
Nobody wants you to have side effects. Nobody wants to abuse drugs. Nobody wants to dash you medication. So they're giving it because they feel you will still need it at that period.
Because that's always the fear.
Coming from the angle of, let's say, a person who frequently gets ill with a certain sickness, maybe you're used to, having malaria,
Yes.
or maybe you have an illness, say asthma or something that, requires certain medications, and you get to take those drugs frequently,
Yes.
according to your prescription. Does it have a long-term effect?
Most medications have side effects and long-term effects. That is where lifestyle modification comes into place. So like you said, malaria, you're always having malaria. So must you have that malaria? There are things you can do to prevent yourself from getting malaria, right? And then even as an asthma patient, there's some things that you can do to, prevent yourself from having the attacks. Also, there are different things, there are different lifestyle modifications that can be done to prevent certain health conditions, even hypertensive patients too. There are some things that you can do, there are some things that you should take, there are some things that you should not take and everything. So if you don't want to be, obviously, you know that this is going to have a long-term effect on your body. So why not try to prevent that health condition from even happening? So I would advise that, you use these lifestyle modifications, change your lifestyle so that you can prevent, because prevention is way better than, curing all these things.
For the sake of clarification and, for definition, can you outline some effects that, we could be facing when you do not adhere to your drugs as per prescription? Okay,
so number one, that your medication is that therapy, you won't receive that maximum, effect of the medication. So maybe I'm supposed to take this malaria medication and I take it for 2 days. And then because I'm fine and I'm okay, the third day I'm not taking it again. So you might get better, but that parasite might still be in your system. And so let's give it like 10 days after you have been beaten again, it comes back. So reoccurrence happens, which is not good, because you're going to now start taking another malaria medication, which will lead to toxicity because you're adding more medications and, so that one is number one and the most important one. And also, you're going to waste resources. Your money, the money that you spent the last time, it was wasted. Do you understand? You have to spend again, and you might even spend more because it might even lead to a critical stage of that illness that you would have just treated. Do you understand? And then it can also lead to frequent visits to hospitals, getting hospitalized and other things which nobody wants to, nobody has that time to take you to the hospital, stay with you, pay more bills and other stuff too. And then worst case scenario, it can lead to death. There is a reason why it is 8 hours and there's a reason why it is 12 hours. Even though they would have just told you, take everything, 12 hours, 12 hours, 12 hours. Do you understand? So there is a mechanism behind it. There's a theory behind it. So there's something we call half-life. That's the time for a drug to stay in your body before you can now take another one. Do you understand? So there are reasons why you should take it. There are reasons why. So I don't think you should take it. Maybe if you cannot remember to take it by that time, set an alarm or something. You understand? That is where pharmaceutical care comes in. So normally, your medical professional or a pharmacist that will prescribe or dispense the medication to you would ask you about your schedule for the day, so that they can fix it in a way that, because it's not everybody that comes in the morning that won't take that drug that morning because maybe they're going to work and because of the side effects, you don't want to take it, maybe to make you sleep. So the right thing to do is to ask you, okay, so what time do you work? In the morning. Oh, I work in the morning. Okay, so I can't give you this drug so that it will not, affect your work and everything. So maybe we should do it in the evening. And you yourself, you know that you need to take this medication. And you know that things have been changed just so you can take it at the right time. So everything has been done. Why won't you take your medication at that right time when you're supposed to take it? Do you understand? So pharmaceutical care, it comes largely into play in that aspect. Making sure you know the right and the best time to take your medication so that there's no excuse for why you did not take it at this time or why you did not take it at that time.
Okay, so just to clarify there, just clarify that you're saying that if I'm meant to take my drugs by 9 a.m. and I take it by 10 a.m., I will still have a reduced effect.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because maybe it is by 9 a.m. sorry,
Yes.
it's by 9 a.m. that the medication in your system will be about to wear out. So you need to top up, and then it's not there. So you're waiting for extra 1 hour. That 1 hour is enough for the microorganism or the parasites to multiply and, do other things.
To enjoy more interesting episodes of Tea or Coffee, then like and subscribe.